What's up, people? It's Walk and Talk, back with another street art interview. It got highly recommended by Chip and the viewers yourselves. It's the voice behind the walls. It's Cons. And if you're new here, like, subscribe, ding dong that notification bell. I appreciate everybody's comments on the video, liking it and stuff like that, and all the messages. It's been overwhelming. We're nearly at 100 subscribers, so if you could subscribe, it'd mean the world to me. So let's get right into this. So we're here now, another interview. We're here with Cons.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So let's get right into it straight away. Why Cons?
Well, like I said before, like I feel like a lot of graffiti writers' names don't actually have like a true meaning. I took it from two different names. I'm not gonna say the like previous names, but I just like the letters, to be fair. So like, I picked letters that I liked, and I just ran with it. And now I'm too far deep. I can't really change my name, so it's one of them.
Well, I see your stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's a standout piece, isn't it? So it's big.
Thank you.
It's stuck. What made you stick with it?
It's a tricky one because, to be fair, there's so many times, like, let's say I've just spent all night, like, going around and obviously tagging whatever, I'll get home and I'll regret it. I'm like, why do I even do this? Like, I need to stop, like, especially when you get in trouble for it and stuff like that. It's a big wake-up call, like, there's so many times where I just want to stop, and then all of a sudden, like, I'll tell myself I don't want to do it, and then 2 days later I just can't stop thinking about it, and I'm just out again. I'll message Chip or I'll message one of my boys, and like, I'll just be out, and I feel like I can never leave the house without at least a marker or something in my bag. Do you know what I mean? Like, or even just my pocket. Like, it's one of them.
So you mentioned Chip,
Yeah.
who I interviewed recently. Well, on the last video.
Yeah.
You're part of TLC, right?
Yeah.
So how did that all start?
To be fair, big up Spot. Spot on Mars. I get on with Mars quite a lot. You don't really paint in Manchester quite a lot. And to be fair, if you try looking for Mars, he's got about 30 other names, but Mars, I know him as Mars. Honestly, one day I bumped into him round the corner from here with Spot, and I was with Chip and my mate Noose. Didn't even speak to Mars, funnily enough, but anyway, found out we live kind of similar area. Got on with him quite well. We paint quite often. He's quite close with Spot. Obviously, I'm quite close with Chip. Chip and Spot kind of started painting a lot, and it just kind of formed. We've got a few others, like other members as well, that we get on with, and it's just like, if anyone ever wants to get out, we throw one of us a message and we can easily just get out then, rather than like struggling to find someone to paint with when you want to paint with someone.
So you say about people to message you if you want to get out there, if you want to start something. Where does the trust come in? How can you trust somebody?
Well, obviously that is, you can't. You got to be cautious, like very cautious. To be fair, it takes a lot of like courage. Like I avoid meeting a lot of people for certain reasons, and I can imagine a lot of people avoid meeting me. They don't know what I'm like. I don't know what they're like. It's more of a, what have you heard about them and stuff like that. It's a word of mouth, really. Like, it is. You don't really just go around meeting everyone. People do. I don't meet many people. I stick to my closest circle.
So when you're then deciding, like you say, do you go to maybe Chip, Spot, and say, what do you know about this? But this person's trying to get onto me, wants to come out and stuff. What do you know about him? Is it that sort of thing then?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Like, or even just what I've heard from other people, what I've seen, to be fair. Like, actions speak words, really. And so if you're seeing them up or depends on like the type of the spots they're hitting as well. You can tell a lot about a person by the style and the spots, and yeah, like how frequent they're out and stuff like that. Like, you can tell a lot about a person.
What's really interesting, there's different answers for this question. So from Con's perspective, so your piece here, from plan to execution, how do you deal with this?
Oh, it is a tricky one because obviously it goes back to basics. All graffiti writers, no matter what, have always started pen and paper and just hours and hours and hours of, any artist really, just hours and hours of just straight up doodling, pretty much. I started in high school just doodling, and funnily enough, I got it from my mum. My mum really liked bubble writing, so I copied her all the time. That's why I chose cons, because it's more curvy letters. So yeah, I just kind of write the letter and just create shapes from, it's called bars. So instead of a line, you expand it into a bar and just kind of move them around and play with them and just try and get them to fit together and nicely. And yeah, it's just a big trial and error really. And I'm still not anywhere near where I want to be in terms of like style and stuff like that. I've got a long way to go, but I kind of just doodle and I put it on a wall, step back, always think, oh wow, that's a bit shit. But yeah, it just comes like progress really. You just kind of you just do it, really.
If you're saying like you feel like you can do better every time you look at your piece, you're like, this is shit, I could do better than that. That's just your own doubt. That, to me, it feels like you want to do better every time and you're trying to push yourself. What's your plans for this year?
I'm very against like planning in the future because I end up dwelling so much in the future or in the past, and I'm a big like overthinker, I'll be honest. So I try my best to avoid. I just want to focus living on the moment, and whatever every day I try and aspire to be spontaneous. Like whatever that day brings me, I'll let it take me. Like, so I don't like planning, but I will say I hope to have a better mindset in terms of, like I said, just getting out and doing it rather than thinking about it and trying to plan too much or anything like that. I want to avoid all that. I want to just get out and do it. If it's a bad idea, it's a bad idea. I'll still do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, as long as I'm out there doing something, that's the plan. So
just touching up now, do you struggle with the mental aspect of graffiti side then? Like, is it, because I know there's a big mental health aspect to it and it's important, and if, you know, this is your platform to talk about it and stuff like that, do you struggle with the mental side of things as well?
It obviously is a touchy subject. I just want to say something for everyone watching. If you are feeling down, make sure you speak to people. For example, stuff like this it helps a lot. Not to like drop a bombshell, but my dad killed himself 3 days ago, and it hit me hard, to be fair. So yeah, I definitely suffer with mental health, but so does everyone out there, don't they really? Everyone's got their own issues. But like, for example, I try and I don't sit there and dwell in my own thoughts. That's bad. Like, that's why graffiti is an important thing. Like, it gets me out there, and I hate to admit, like, it is illegal, and I think it's very, I'll get onto that later, it's a controversial thing. It's a degenerate lifestyle, and I'm aware of that. But it definitely, that's, for me, it gets me out there. It keeps me focused on something, and it's an artistic way of coping with, not depression, but like feeling down. So
that was big of you to admit that and openly speak about that, so big yourself up for that.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry for the loss as well.
No, it's okay.
But this is again, from what you're saying, this is the passion inside of you, what keeps you going. You know, you express on the walls what you're trying to vent in your head, and it's a really big thing. This is why I don't think the public understand art as much as they should do. And I'm going to do a video on the public. Chip recommended it, actually. I think it's a big thing to get people's opinions online, but nobody thinks about stuff like this, what's going on. There's not an understanding, there's not an acceptance of this sort of stuff, and I think there really should be.
Yeah, definitely, like you said, that the whole public interview thing, that would be a great video, because like, a lot of people love it. I've had so many people, when I'm doing my daytime spots and whatever, and I'm still not even the best out there, so I can imagine all the mural artists and stuff like that, but that's a different topic. get all the love in the world. Even when I've been caught tagging just from the public, some people, and the tagging is the worst part of graffiti, and every graffiti writer will say that. I've had people come up to me and say, oh, that's lovely that, or I like what you're doing, blah, blah. But then you've also got so many people, I've had like nearly got into fights over it, and I'm not a violent guy at all. People have come up to me like nearly wanting to fight me over a bit of paint on a wall, and I always, my first thing I say back is, you're just closed-minded, and fair enough, it is illegal, and it's not my property and stuff like that, and I am so aware of that, and I agree. But to just completely shut down someone's actions and limit them without even understanding why or whatever, and just your own personal opinion, I think the best way in life to be is to be open-minded, and there's so many people out there in today's society that are just so the opposite, and it is sad to see. So that's why this is kind of something for me. It's more of like a protest in a way. That's not the main reason, but that is also another reason. It's like, open your mind a little, and it probably doesn't work, but that's the thought behind it.
Would you agree that you're, so to speak, a faceless celebrity? People see your work every day. You know, maybe just Manchester or other parts of the UK. People see your stuff. No one knows who you are. No one knows your story. This is why I'm doing this sort of thing, to let people know who aren't aware what people are going through, what people are venting about, why they do the certain things they do. And maybe, hopefully, this shows you, audience, what it really is, and the meaning behind it isn't just vandalism. There's people who've got stories to tell, and this is their way of expressing it. So
yeah, definitely. Like, obviously, like in high school, for example, like, don't get me wrong, I had a very healthy friend group, but I was a very quiet kid, and just like, and I was always kind of like, and this is quite cliche to say, because I feel like so many people are like this, but I don't want to say felt out of place, because I never felt out of place. I never felt like faking my persona just to fit in. It never sat right with me. Like, there was a few times where I did try and fit in, and instantly I was just like, this is not me, and I'd instantly like back away from it. And so this is completely out of the ordinary. Like, realistically, it's not in societal norm, and when people do see it, they're like, oh, that's different, and a lot of people disagree with it, but I kind of do it to be seen without necessarily like, I don't like being, I know this is quite ironic, I don't like being in the limelight. I want to be like doing my own thing. I don't like being all the attention on me. I hate that. However, going around and knowing like I am everywhere and you can't do anything about that, it is a nice feeling sometimes, like, because a lot of people I know, if I was to speak to them face to face, they won't get on with me, I wouldn't get on with them. But they've got no choice but to still see me, if you know what I mean. So it's a nice feeling sometimes.
yeah, good. This is a good question that always gets good interaction. What is the sketchiest moment you've ever had while painting?
Oh, I've had way too many, to be fair, and I've not even done some of the craziest stuff. Obviously, the obvious answer is trains, in terms of the train tracks. The trains nowadays anyway, when I was growing up, and I was like just playing football on train tracks and stuff for the fun of it, stupid, never go on train tracks. These trains are fast and they're quiet too. You'd be surprised, like, some of these trains are so quiet you don't know they're coming until they're right behind you. And I'll be stuck in a tunnel, for example, just walking down, not oblivious because I'm aware that there can be trains, but for example, not too long ago there was a red light. There's light signals on the tracks, and usually a red light means there's going to be no trains, or for a good, like, depends what line you're on, but let's say the average line, there shouldn't be a train for like another 20-30 minutes usually. So I was like, okay, I should be fine for the next 10 minutes or so. I've just seen a train go by, now I've come back on, I should be okay. No, I was just coming under this tunnel, And for whatever reason, I just looked back and I've seen these two bright white lights coming straight at me. And it started honking its horn. And obviously in that kind of moment, it's a life or death situation. And I did freeze for like half a second. And then obviously I was like, whoa, I'm gonna die. And I just died. It was literally like, I can't really describe there was no space at all, but I just dived out of the way. And I just lay there, I didn't even look, I just looked down at the ground, eyes closed, just lay there hoping. And it just went past me, the wind was like pushing me and it was very scary. And then I got up and I was like, wow, that was a serious moment, like, it was a big wake-up call. But that's part of the game really. Or you can talk about like streets and stuff, like some of the nights where, let's say like you're walking through the streets at 3 in the morning and like there's some evil people out at night. You don't want to be walking around at night, especially on your own. And especially in a town centre, which is where graffiti mainly is. There's some sketchy people, like I've been, not nearly robbed, but people have come up to me in malicious ways and like, even just like, when you're running away from someone, let's say, and you're not thinking about anything, you just run into the middle of the road and a car pulls out of nowhere, or when you're trying to climb into a building. Like I've climbed many bridges, like on this side of bridges, and sometimes it started raining halfway while I'm up there and the bolts have got all really greasy and I've nearly slipped. It's a dangerous game to be in, but part of it, innit?
That train that went past, obviously you've laid down, the train's passed, you've got back up, dusted yourself off. What was your initial reaction and feeling? What were your thoughts after it?
After I got up?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm alive. Like, it was, but to be fair, I got off straight away after that because that was like one of the closest calls, and I was on my own. That like, it's not like I could have just laughed it off with one of, if I was with like one of my mates or whatever, then it's a different story, because I've had close calls with friends like last night, where we were very close, and we kind of just got a video and we laughed about it because that's living, humans weren't made to be safe and like sound at all times. We're meant to be in dangerous scenarios. It keeps us living, and that's what we're kind of designed to do. Like, if anything, this generation's, or not even just generation, but humans today are too soft, and that is a fact. So getting out there and doing dangerous stuff, obviously, I would hate to die on tracks, because it's not even just me who's being affected, it's the train driver and it's my family and stuff like that. So I'm not flexing, but like to do dangerous stuff and then actually come out alive and be fine and okay, you can look back, you get a cool story to tell, but you also appreciate life 10 times more after it. So
Right, we're gonna go on to nitty-gritty stuff now. Some controversy. You're in the graffiti scene, you're big in the graffiti scene in Manchester, especially. What's something that graffiti artists don't really talk about? What's something really controversial in the graffiti scene?
like I said, it's a very degenerate lifestyle, and don't get me wrong, I'm not generalising every single graffiti writer, because that isn't the case, but it's a very bad, degenerate lifestyle, and some of the writers, and I'll never name names, and to be fair, I couldn't even point fingers either, but I know for a fact there's so many graffiti writers that are genuine evil people that are just straight up losers, and they might be the most up in the city at the time, but when graffiti completely consumes your life and not in a positive way, it's a fact that it's sad, and drugs plays a big factor into it, like, and drugs is a problem in everyone's life, not just graffiti writers. I don't touch drugs, I'm completely sober, like, if anything, this is my drug. Don't get me wrong, I'll drink alcohol, whatever, but like, everyone does. But yeah, drugs is a big factor, and I'm not just talking like weed and whatever, like, whatever, who cares? But people genuinely go out and on nights and just do hardcore drugs on their own, or maybe with a few of the friends, and then go and cause mayhem, and that's cool. But in my personal opinion, I think it's sad to see. Anyway, I'm not calling people sad. I'm not calling people out, because who am I to say all that? But in terms of like graffiti, there's a big part of it where there's so many just it's I don't know, they take it too far, I think, and instead of it being it just goes back to being a coping mechanism. So it's not like, I don't know, but to me, I don't think it's a good thing when they're just letting it completely take over them, and just because they got a spray can in the hand, they also want to do so many drugs, and then, like, I'm not gonna name names, but it's just sad to see. Do you know what I mean? Not that they can help it, but
yeah. Do you think legality would change that? As in, like, it's an illegal activity. Do you think it becoming legal would actually change everything about the game itself? How would it affect you? And do you think there'd be less people, like you say, a lot of drugs is involved in the graffiti scene with certain people. Do you think that'd help or hinder?
Well, if graffiti was legal, I wouldn't even have started. So I definitely think it'd change the game, like, massively. Well, that's just a given, but like, I wouldn't even have started graffiti if it weren't legal. Not that, like, to be fair, I don't even get like a buzz of it being illegal or anything anymore. But a lot of people do. And legal walls are fun, don't get me wrong. Like, when you can sit there for a good couple hours or a few hours or even all day in nice sunny weather and you're just painting on a wall, it's beautiful. It really is, like, especially when you enjoy painting anyway. But there is still a vandal aspect to it, and graffiti wouldn't. It'll just turn into street art, which street art is still cool, and a lot of graffiti writers disagree. Like, I think murals and stuff are pretty fucking sick. Like, if someone can do that with a spray can, that's fucking cool. Do you know what I mean? Art is art at the end of the day, and whether they've been paid for it or not, we're all doing the same thing. But it comes to it when, like, I don't know, there is a different, it's two completely different games at the same time. So a legal graffiti, it should be legal in more places, definitely, in so many more places, because it just makes areas look prettier, and there'd be less scruffy graffiti such as tags and throwies and stuff like that. It'd be actually well put together art then, and it'd actually make communities look way nicer. But illegal graffiti is still important, I'd say.
You mentioned before, and just now actually, about tagging, and Chip said the same answer. It's shit. Tagging's shit. Why do so many artists do tagging then? Explain that for the audience who don't really get what tagging is.
Well, I mean, it's the foundation of graffiti, really. Think about it. Letters are just not a tag, but it's just a letter in it, like it's all word, let's say. So these are just big letters, really, and tagging is the easiest way to get your name around. It takes a couple seconds, and every graffiti writer, no matter how good you are, whether you're a mural artist or you're just a vandal, everyone's got a tag. Even school children have got tags. Like, everyone's got a tag. What's they called now? Like watermarks. That's a tag. Everything is a tag, so it's just the foundation of it, really. And obviously, it's not the prettiest thing in the world to just have a random, most of the time, unreadable scribble on a wall, but that's the easiest way to get up at the end of the day, and it's quite important, actually. Like I said earlier on, if I see another writer's tag all of a sudden appear out of nowhere everywhere, they're going to be in my head a lot more than just some guy that's got 2 pieces, and they could be the sickest pieces. I'll still remember that, but I'll notice the tagging way more. So it's part of the game.
Cool. So this is going to be the end of the video. Do you want to shout anybody out who you want me to interview next?
Oh, it's a hard one because he's not from Manchester. Mars, he'd have some great answers. Or I'll put you onto his Instagram handle because he don't go by Mars, but I know him as Mars. And then other writers in Manchester, I'd say go to like Birmingham or something. I'd say switch it up. I feel like the Manchester graffiti scene, there'll definitely be cool people that will interview you, but I feel like in the Manchester scene, everyone is quite quiet and just to themselves, and I like that. I respect it a lot, actually. But yeah, I'd say switch it up and go to like a different city, mate. It'd be cool.
Yeah, cool. Right, Cons, appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate yours.
So that's it. The video's done. Another great interview with Cons, so big up yourself. Who would you like me to interview next? Leave it in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, ding dong that notification bell, and I'm out. Peace.